are on. Exciting! It's been 18 months since I've done this. Good evening, friends! Oh, yes, and they can hear you right across the four corners of the earth. Not because you were that loud, but because, as per usual, we are live on Facebook and YouTube, although it always used to be just Facebook beforehand, so we're live on both of them now, so please do not swear too much. And welcome, especially me, welcome to Littleport Village Hall, to Littleport Christian Spiritualists. We're back, bigger, badder and bolder than ever, and we have kept the faith. The faith has kept us, and we're home together. And guess what? I brought the family with us. Let's make them a bit bigger, shall we? We have got all of our good friends who've been keeping the dream alive over the last 18 months, keeping it going. And I know many of you have been watching and joining in, but we've still got people watching from home. So let's say a big good evening to all of them. There we are, your brothers and sisters all across the world joining both live and, I understand it, at a later date because they're busy watching EastEnders or something boring like that. But to tonight, we are here to do what we always do, what we've always done and what we will always continue to do. Prove life eternal. And for once, I don't have to click a couple of buttons to introduce the medium. So friends, give a big Littleport welcome to our very good friend, Reverend Barbara Price! They know you're watching. Well, friends, let us begin by opening in prayer. As we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, we thank you for the opportunity to come together as friends, to unite under your banner of love and hope and friendship, that we might witness the truth and the proof that life is indeed eternal. At this time, we ask for a blessing to be placed on all those that could not make it for whatever reason today, those that are far, those that are near, and those that have gone home to you, dear Lord. I also ask that love and light from the spirit world shine forth, that the veil be lifted, and that your light might shine not just here in this place and in this space, but all over the world, in the hearts and minds of everyone, especially those who need it. And as we place this service in your care and keeping, we make the statement as ever, that everything we do is in the name of love, in the name of truth, and in the name of light. Amen. Amen. Well, friends, it's been about 18 months since I opened with a bit of philosophy because I'm usually trying to rush things along. But you know what? I'm going to have my 10 pence again for a change. But don't forget that we have some usual traditions to uphold. Later on, because this is the notices bit in case anyone had forgotten. Later on, we're going to have healing, we're going to have a reading, and we'll see if I can get him up on the screen from a distance. We're going to have, of course, Bully's special prize will be for an actual prize, a raffle prize. And of course, my friends, you will get your mediumship. But of course, I've not mentioned something else. She's here, our principal minister, live from Littleport Village Hall, wishes to speak with us. And she will in just a few minutes. But first, I've got a few things to say. Not that I've been bottling it up for 18 months, because I'll say what I say when I need to say it. But we come together today to renew and rebuild and begin again everything that we have been nurturing and working hard on in our lives. our freedoms, our friendships, our social connections. There will be a day soon when we will come together as a church and send our thoughts officially in memorial to those that we have lost since we last met in this place. But that's not today. In the future, we will work harder and bolder and firmer to spread the truth that there is no conditions to unconditional love. But it's not entirely today. Today is about coming together and giving thanks for still being here, about coming together and celebrating. My friends, it's going to be one heck of a party. And I know that all of those in the world of spirit watching over us will be here. I'm reminded of a phrase I once heard from a very good friend of mine that I will share with you. That I am perfectly sure that this hall is filled every inch with thousands and thousands of spirit people coming together to say, look, they're back in Littleport. But of course, we never really went away because we are a family under spirit. We are united under spirit. And I'm not just talking about those in the spirit world, and I'm not just talking about the great spirit. I'm talking about the spirit within, the spirit inside of us, the living spirit, the part of us that is the soul, the spark of life, the thing that the scientists really still can't put their finger on, the part of us that is a connection to the eternal life and the eternal creator of everything. Now, I won't say it's all been great over the last few 18 months. I'm well aware that something I said a while ago was mocked and jeered, and I was told that I was talking rubbish. You remember on a Thursday night around about this time, back when it all began, we had to stop the service at this point so we could all join together and clap, because we were all coming together with a new sense of purpose, a new sense of joy, a new sense of connectivity and upliftment and love. And I got in trouble for saying it won't last. Not just the clapping, that had to end at some point. Otherwise, we'd have been needing to have hand transplants and new fingers. I'm talking about that spirit of unity, that spirit of love and compassion where people from all different walks of life united together. I, unfortunately, on many levels, was right. Toxicity has returned. Infighting has returned. Hatred, I don't think ever really left. It's our job to get rid of that hatred by proving that we are the living spirit. It's our job to show that there is no condition to unconditional love. And it doesn't matter what religious practices you follow, so long as you know that being good to one another is the most important thing, you're already 99% of the way there in their book, because you're creating earth as it is in heaven. I said that once before a few weeks ago and got in trouble because I slipped up and said on. I will be honest, I make mistakes. We all do. But we need to come together more than ever to unite, to rebuild this family of humanity, this one race, the human race. So say we all, as Reverend Wendy would have chipped in. But we can't do that by staying silent. Because I know the truth. that the silent majority of this world are great and good. The loud, noisy ones causing all the trouble for everyone else, they're in a minority. But because they shout louder, they're heard more. The silent majority will always win on one condition. Enough silence. Look at you all tonight. I didn't have to ask you to repeat your good evening. Loud and proud and full of joy, kindness, compassion, and love. Let's take that message out to the world. Let's take that compassion out to the world. And if someone turns to you and says, oh, and I'll be honest with you, I've had it a lot over the last year. Another false preacher, another false prophet. Oh, you're gay, you can't talk to God, you can't work for God. Oh, you talk to them that have gone upstairs. That's all demon worship, that is. There's one answer you give. Many blessings, go in peace. Nothing else. Because the more you fight back with other angry words, the more that fuels the flame. You cannot fight fire with fire. You cannot fight hate with hate. Love rules. Kindness rules. And there's nothing that upsets a bully more than you not feeling it. So don't feel it. Be that which is you in your hearts, and that you know to be true, that you know that you are, and never give an inch. Because from this place and from this day, we send a message to the parliaments of conquerors. Enough is enough. It's time for the power to be with the people, because that's what a certain young man, because he was quite young, dark-skinned, Middle East, 2,000 years ago, went by the name of Joshua, if you translate it properly. Yeshua, if you were actually talking to him. He said, turn the other cheek. He said, love is the most important thing. So let's follow those rules and start using his proper name as well. Because one thing that I've learned in my 20 years training as a medium under the tutelage of a certain lady is that you certainly do not spell people's names wrong. And you give them a capital at the beginning as well, and you don't put Mr. or Mrs. and you don't finish it with how old they are. But I digress. Friends, let's send that message of love, let's send that message of compassion out into the world, because I know that I am preaching to the converted. But let's start taking the example of that message to the world. Live it, love it, and make the world a better place, one smile at a time. God bless you all, and thank you for listening. Well, friends, everyone at home is going to be concerned. Well, in fact, most of you are probably concerned. I've got water, not Pepsi. Way! I couldn't drink it here. I'd be in big trouble from them upstairs. Friends, now is the time I'm going to call upon the principal minister of the New Christian Spiritualist Society, because I have it on very, very good authority. She's got to have a few words with us. Ladies and gentlemen and friends, and anything in between. Reverend Lynn.
Well, it's so wonderful to be back here, isn't it, in the village hall, because every Thursday night, it's been hours since, I think it's 1998, isn't it, Reverend Nick?
Pretty much.
And also, on this date, in this village hall, on a Thursday night, we had an ordination service. And I wondered if the Reverend who was ordained on that night was going to mention it. But he hasn't.
No.
So I will. And of course, it was Reverend Nick Brown. And we were here many years ago now, and I had the privilege of being the person who was chosen to ordain him into his ministry. And he has, well, the address he gave tonight was really the kind of address that you would expect from an ordained minister. And I was so pleased to hear that. And I'm not saying that the address he first gave as a minister was not as thrilling as that, but perhaps it was a little bit more nerve-wracked.
Yes.
And a little bit more stumbling because it was his first address as a minister. But now, all these years later, Reverend Nick Brown has grown into most wonderful minister. He has given the most wonderful philosophy. And I think that I could only congratulate you, Reverend Nick, on behalf of all those upstairs. Because the fact is this, that when we ordain our ministers, as Reverend Barbara Price knows, you know, it's a huge responsibility that is laid upon their shoulders, because they're not entering into the ministry of the Orthodox Church by any means. And yet they are in every way the equal of anyone who is ordained into the ministry of any Orthodox religious church. And that goes across all the religions, because you've only got to hear what somebody like Reverend Nick Brown has to say to spread that word for us as Christian spiritualists, to know that we are definitely equal to any ordained ministers in any other denomination, but dare I say that we're better than them. I say that we're better because why? You know, it's not the place to be self-deprecating now for any of our ministers, because we have the onus on us to actually tell people every time why we are what we are, why we do what we do. Far more than if you bump into the usual Church of England vicar in the street, people don't start asking them, why are you doing this? You know, what do you believe in? Or, you know, and start engaging you in arguments. But if you're a Christian spiritualist minister, you get arguments everywhere you look. People want to know why, what, how, wherefore, what was your upbringing like? You know, did your mother love you? You know, do you come from a broken home? And then if you're gay on top of that, oh, how can you be? And, you know, and that's another big thing that you have to go into. But I would say that all our ministers are the most wonderful people, because if they are mediums, they're already ministry. The fact is that if you are a developed medium, it's a sacred calling, for sure. I'm not talking about all the people that, you know, grub around on the periphery, making a few bob out of what, you know, out of their psychic abilities. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who are developed in a spiritual way and who get communication from the spirit world through to people down here in whatever level they choose to do that, whether it's messages to loved ones down here, whether it's teachings from the higher spirit, you know, however they work, or of course as healers. But the fact is this, that our ministers have this wonderful calling. And as I said, our mediums are all ministers, really. Whether they choose to come into the ministry itself, that's another thing. Because if you are a minister, you're on call. Day and night, that's the point. If people are in trouble, they know that they can come to you because you are a minister. If you're a medium, people may be loath to approach you on a spiritual subject. But if you are a minister, you know, with wearing clerical clothes, they know that they can approach you. So that means that you put yourself out there and you say to people, you can actually stop me and ask me about things that you need, you know, any problems that you've got, you can come to me with those, and we will answer them. And the fact is that it is a big responsibility to take on board. Whereas mediums, of course, they're all ministers for the spirit, but at the same time, and the healers, of course, among them. But the fact is that unless they actually take up that yoke of service to the Great Spirit by saying that they will be ordained, they don't have that responsibility upon them. So I think to take on that weight of responsibility is amazing, actually. And I think that we should be grateful to all our ministers. You know, okay, the New Christian Spiritualist Society is one group, but of course there are other spiritualist groups and other Christian spiritualist groups. But I can only speak for ourselves. And I think that the other thing is this, that how spirit work, yeah? I wasn't sure that I was going to speak about anything particularly spiritual tonight. And of course, why was that? That's because I was smiling all the time, Reverend Nick, because Reverend Nick took that upon himself. He was prompted by Spirit to hold forth about all sorts of philosophical matters. So I realised I wasn't going to have to do that at all. And I could just talk about what I wanted to say, which was really just to congratulate Reverend Nick Brown on his years as a wonderful, wonderful minister. Reverend Nick Brown, I think you are fantastic. And, you know, I'm just privileged that he walked into my life when we were at the leisure centre down the road and offered to make a cup of tea.
Even though the tea was rubbish.
The tea was rubbish, so he got elevated to something else instead. Did we make you the treasurer?
Treasurer!
We made you the treasurer. It was only a small group. We'd only just started, and we knew that we needed to put our pennies somewhere, and pennies they were indeed. And I thought Nick seemed just the right person to do that. And then he joined the circle, and this church became this church because of Nick Brown, Reverend Nick Brown now, as he is now, and a few other friends who came in to a spiritual development circle. And they all became mediums, and most of them didn't continue with that in terms of a public life as a medium, but they are mediums nevertheless. Some of them have passed the spirit themselves now, but this church itself was produced by a circle of developing mediums way back in 1998, and Reverend Nick Brown was one of them. So thank you, Nick. Thank you, Reverend Nick Brown, for everything that you've done for us, really for the world. And to be here tonight and know that thousands of people are going to hear how he is and his wonderful philosophy, and know that he represents us so very, very well. Thank you very much, Reverend Nick. God bless you. God bless everybody. And now, instead of turning me off, which is what Reverend Nick was doing every week, I'll press the mute button.
Where's the mute button?
I can go and sit down in my seat and enjoy Reverend Barbara Price and her mediumship that I know will uplift and thrill everybody. Thank you very much for being here and serving us tonight. Thank you.
Well, I was going to try and keep that one quiet, I will be honest with you, but as it's been brought up, happy anniversary to the current format of Littleport Christian Spiritualist, because my ordination was actually at its very first service in its new form. So happy birthday, everyone, and happy anniversary, everyone. So thank you for your very kind words, Lynn. And I just do what I got to do. And I just hope that somebody's listening because it's for the benefit of so many people what I've been told to share. And I take very little responsibility for the words I get. My English teacher would very much agree with that, although I think I've done a little bit better, certainly with my spelling and grammar over the last 20 years. But again, another story. Speaking of spelling and grammar, when it comes to nice, wonderful words, for instance, a poem or a song or a reading, sometimes the rules of grammar can go out of the window for the benefit of meter and rhyme. So it is that time, and it's that time to see if we can dial in and get Reverend Alan to come up on screen. So let's see if I can get him up, shall we, everyone? Reverend Alan, are you there?
Yes.
Hello, Reverend Alan! He's here.
I printed this off this morning. It actually almost leapt out of my computer at me, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to squint to read it because it came out that small. But it's called Seize the Day. Seize the day, for time is passing. Seize the day, your days amassing. Your time to live and do and be is now for you a mystery. To solve each day as it unfolds and watch the treasure it beholds. Now understand your precious time will one day just be over. And understand the time to live is now, not under clover. So seize the moment, seize the time, seize that precious day, and fit your life with happiness, for this is your today. Thank you.
Bless you. Thank you. Wow. Do you know what? I've just realised something that I haven't missed. Having to keep getting up and sitting down again. Because, you know, we had the incident with last week with the tutu, and I've realised that my belt's gotten a little bit loose over the last 18 months, the more I keep getting up and getting down. So let's just hope that the tutu's underneath to protect one's dignity and everyone else's sight. But never mind, I'm sure we'll be fine. Well, friends, thank you for coming all the way, and thank you to everyone for coming out into this hall. But Alan, thank you, because I know you've got a little bit further to travel now than you used to be fair. So thank you. It's lovely to have you actually live. Well, friends, there's something else that's really important in our way of life, in every way of life, but we do put it on the pedestal that it deserves. And that is healing. Sending out our healing thoughts to all those who are sick and suffering and in need of comfort. Now, for those of you that have been watching online, we've picked up a trick or two. And we've brought that trick with us. Stolen from the lovely now Reverend Ashley Oliver down in Weymouth, because we've been talking amongst all various different churches and organisations. This idea I stole from her, and I don't mind admitting it. Because then Reverend Tony up north, he stole it from me, and it's just been snowballing, and I think it's wonderful. Because rather than just sitting in silence for 1 minute, and me having to keep opening one eye to look at the second hand in the clock, we actually have some lovely music and a lovely pretty candles to watch when we are sending out our healing. And do you know what? You don't have to close your eyes to send out your healing thoughts. Anyone who's sat in development, as we've been talking about, knows that sometimes to have one candle to just sit and stare at, to help you focus the mind, can be wonderful. Well, there's quite a few going to be up on that screen in a minute. There's enough candles here for each and every one of you. You've each got your own candle to use. So, friends, we are now going to send out our healing thoughts to all those sick and suffering and in need of comfort. And we will begin, as ever, with the healing prayer and finish with the words, Amen. After, of course, the music stopped. So let's begin by saying, as we always do, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, here we bring unto you all those who are sick and suffering and in need of comfort, be they sick in mind, body, or spirit, that it may please thee to heal them. This we ask for those we know, for those we do not know, and those who have no one to ask for them. We ask for them now. Amen. Well, friends, now the time has come, the time in our service when I am going to ask Reverend Barbara Price, a very, very good friend, personally, as well as professionally, who, if I might be so bold and say something a bit personal, has been a true friend and support to myself and my mum. So thank you. And I know many of you have been in touch and keeping her in check, keeping her behaving herself, especially Reverend Allen, giving her coming round and banging the drum for her. I'll be careful how I put that. And of course, Sam and Hannah have been keeping her in mischief rather than out of mischief. And I know so many names that I haven't got time to mention, but I will collectively say, this church, the members of it, the people who have been part of it, all of you, thank you. And so now, I'm going to hand over. I will share a few comments for those sitting watching at home. But now is the time when I can sit down for a long time and say, it's time for a demonstration of mediumship. And I give you Reverend Barbara Price.
To come back up onto the rostrum and see such a long while. I don't do Zoom. I like to see the faces, I like to feel the energy around people. And my dad wouldn't let me do it anyway. He doesn't let me go on computers very often. So anyway, so it's wonderful to be back in Liverpool. I kept on and on at Liverpool, when done that. And whether I was working here this evening, if I wasn't, I'd be sitting there. So anyway, it's wonderful to be back. A lot of people have seen me work, so I don't have to explain how I work. Shall I stand still?
No, you're fine. I'll track you. Don't worry. I might even get my phone and link in and sit in the audience.
At the same time, it is that I am direct. I like to go straight to whatever my guide is actually saying here. And I know the minute they walked in to the centre, the church here, is that I want to be here. I see you come in this evening, and I just feel very much what I feel the lady in me. Okay, wish my darling. And as a lady here, I just feel very much as though there's a little bit of upliftment being with you. You're not the only one. I mean, everybody out there in the world at the moment is needing this upliftment. But I want to say that as much as I'm saying that you need this upliftment, I want to say that you give all your energy to everybody else. Would you understand that, please? And I want to say to you is that, yes, you need to do that at this time, but at the same time, keep wholesome, here within your heart as well. It's very important. I am very much aware of a lot of energy coming here around me, and I just feel so it's standing very much behind you. Very much behind you. I do see a gentleman standing there. I want to be on the father's link here, but father is still here on the earth plane, please. But I want his father, or big granddad. So I just know very much it's there with you. And as it's coming through, I just feel very much I want to be around your dad. I want to be around your dad. So his father is being very much around your dad. Okay, that's your sweetheart. And as I'm working with your grandfather and I'm working with him towards your dad, there's a lot of healing being in there. Would you understand that, please? And as I give him this healing, he's saying, hey, he's not taken any transition yet. Or at this moment in time, there's no transition over. Okay? I want to say to you also is that there's a lot of love, a lot of energy coming forward there as well. And I also got a lady here with me as well, and I just feel so, I want to say mum. I want to say mum. And as she's coming forward here, she's wrapping her arms around her. And they're not arms, they're wings. And they're wrapping her love there. I'm absolutely full of goosebumps with the amount of love that they're handing over to you. And I want to say to you also, with this amount of love that's coming forward, I feel as when the mother took her transition to the spirit world, they broke that mold. They broke that mold. And she said, you're so much like me. And even that lovely smile. And she said, oh, she said, you're so much like me, honey. She's very. And I want to give you a bottle of champagne, not personally, but I want to say, as much as there's a lot of sadness there with you, I want to say also, with the champagne, it represents these celebrations around you. So I do feel that very much there will be a celebration there. Whether it's a celebration of life, celebration a loved one, it doesn't matter, that at this time, we need to celebrate everything, all right? I want to say also that children, you have children, please. You have little ones? Are they grown up, please? Pardon? Teenagers. Okay, lovely. So I just feel so that I want to say to you is that
I apologize.
I also have a beautiful healing as well coming in around you. And so that it's clearing your pathway, making your pathway so much better, so much easier to walk upon. And I also want to say new beginnings here as well. New beginnings. You have a boy, please. You have a son, you have two sons? Yeah, okay, because I just feel very much is that their grandmothers want you to have them. Want you to have them. And also is that I just feel very much as though I want medication around that, please. All right, because I just feel very much aware of medication there. And I also want to say that this lovely. I also want to say to you, this lovely man in the spirit world is very much holding your hand at this time. I don't know why I want to take a deep breath. I don't know whether this is your dad, this what I'm breathing, or problems around his lung, or I'm actually talking about your granddad who had problems around his breathing, around his lung area. Okay. And also is that caravan. Could you take a caravan, please? All right, because I'm very much aware of a caravan or a mobile home, or even maybe a motorhome. I don't know. It's just actually just something that's falling. Working on the land, please. Granddad working on the land. Okay, because that's what he's doing now. He said, oh, he said, I'm digging away, I'm digging away. But I also want to give you the earth. All right? I want to give you the earth from the spirit world. And it's as though that everything will be at peace. All right? Thank you for your tears. Okay? Tears are very emotional for yourself. But at the same time, the spirit, they know that you're sending your love to those in the spirit world as much as you maybe feel very terrible for dad. And yes, you are missing one, but at the same time, that is your love within your heart. Okay, Mum said, I'm not certain about that beautiful tattoo on your arm, she's saying. I am not quite certain about that. And she's saying, if I will look at it properly later, she's saying, I will look at it properly. I also want to give you Maria. Now, I want to say to you is that if I give you names, that doesn't represent a proof of spirit, okay? That's the thing to me, I give them out, okay? Okay, if you can't take yourself while you're getting, just going to leave that. I want to say to you is that I have Maria, the name Maria is being sent, being shouted actually, and I also want Henry or Harry, and I know that's somewhere here or someone in the spirit world, because that's very strong, and that's coming from Granddad. All right, who's Charlie, please? Charlie, Chaz. Okay, just want to give it to you, sweetheart. I also want healing around you. I want healing around your ankles and around your legs. All right, this heat is killing you. This is so that that's the wrong word, isn't it? And at the same time, it's that you are drained. You are drained. You are a good mum, and don't ever doubt that. Okay, you are a good mum, and your mum is very proud of you. All right, and she said, "I love those boys." Okay, give your dad a hug. All right, from your mum. I also want to say to you, as your granddad is pulling away also, I want to say to you is that champagne represents an anniversary or a party or a get-together. Or it could be one of the boys' birthdays, it could be just a friend's birthday, or it could be maybe you're going to a wedding, I don't know. But the champagne is there. Thank you so much for welcoming me. Take my home, God bless you. Thank you, my darling. But as I'm there with you, thank you for the clapping. I don't feel I deserve it because I'm not doing the work. I'm just an instrument. I want to say I'm very much aware of a lot of energy with you, lots of love there with you. I hope you sit in circle. If you don't, please do. All right? I want to say to you is that I know this is even a proof of survival, but if it is something spiritual, I will give it to you. Please work with that energy. Please work with that wonderful energy you have. Okay? I am also very, very much aware of a lot of feelings that you give out, simply like that lady there. You have that energy as well. I want to say to you is that very much aware of a gentleman standing behind you. I want Dad, please. Dad, I want Daddy. No doubt about that. Dad is there with you. And you say, you work, I'll work with you. All right, so he'll be your helper, he'll be your teacher, maybe I don't know. But at the same time, he's there. I want to say, I want colours, you are in really, really quite dark colours at this moment, but at the same time, I'm going to read the bright, that is very rude, I'm awfully sorry. It's very noisy lately, but I want to say to you is I want to read brighter colours there with you, brighter colours. And I also want to say that I want to be in your shoes, I want to start from the beginning again. It's so exciting. Can you remember when you started? And so I really, the goosebumps that you used to get in the hairs on the back of your neck. Oh, you have so much to look forward to. Please find that circle. Please use that energy that you have. And I want to say that Dad is so proud of you. And I know he's missed, and I know he's loved. You don't ever forget. He loved you dearly. All right. I also want to say to you is that over maybe these last 18 months, maybe over these last 7 or 10 months, that things have been very hard. I have lost many friends over these last few months, and I do feel that I can put myself in your shoes as well, equally with loss as well. I want to say that also is that as one door shuts to you, that one can open. It will open. All right. I also want to say that he's just given me goosebumps. He said, "Yeah, you want goosebumps? I'm giving them to you." And he's giving them to me. I want to say to you is that life is going to be good. All right. And it's so that there are changes for you, a lot of new beginnings for you. Grab them by the neck and get in the bed. All right. We need to have these changes, and we have a cruel world out there at the moment. But the likes of Nick Hussain and Reverend Lynn, that out of what's happened out there, so we can be strong. You can be strong. All right. I want to say that the key. I have a key here, and either somebody or yourself is going to put a new key in the door. All right, because I just see a movement. movement there. It's a long time coming, and well, I want to say that this is your year, all right, and as I that maybe the beginning of next year. But I'm not a fortune teller. If you give it, I will give it. Ready? Go for it. It's very, very important. Very important to you. I want to say that also, I have a lady here as well that I just feel as though that I have his mother, which will be your grandmother, and I don't feel a very tall lady, and so I do feel that just a bit taller than her, and he's going, okay, I'm wearing there. He's a joker, all right? He would love to bring smiles on your face. He was aware that you were getting choked up. He said, no tears from me, my honey. You've done your share of crying. Now it's time for you to celebrate, all right? Celebrate the love that he shared with you. And it's his time to go, he said, and you know it. No more suffering for him. I've suffered enough. And he's saying, I love you so much. Who's David? David?
An ex-husband.
Okay, we don't want David. Okay, just David. And the name sometimes just gives us proof that I'm on the right track with you, okay? But I want to say that I'm seeing a banquet, okay? And as I'm seeing a long table here, and I want to say to you is that you are capable of standing behind that table and giving it. Right? So you should be in authority somewhere. And maybe at this time that you're thinking of maybe changing something around your work environment. And this long table is that we can give it. Don't put yourself down, put yourself behind that table and just throw it out. Just throw it out. It's so, so important to you. I said new shoes on your feet over there. I love really says new shoes, new beginnings, and that's what's new pathways. Okay, and I want to swim. So I put you in this, you must swim. There's a circle going on somewhere, and the shirt that will start there, circle very soon. So I'd love to see you on this platform. Even if the first time you stand up on this platform, I'll stand with you. You have the gift, you have your beliefs, okay, and you know you've got it, okay. All you need to do is believe in who you are and what you are. Take this love, and I leave that and say, thank you so much for working with me. Okay, Mandy, can I come with you? I don't know you. I only know your name because it's in the fortune, Mandy. And as I'm there with you, Mandy, I just feel it's so half going. All right, things have been half going for you, my darling. And I want to say that also there's a lot of healing around you as well. All right, and I do feel that the heat is as though the heat is just really, really pulling you down. But at the same time, I just feel very much it's really taking its toll on you, the heat, all right? And I want to pull this chair up, I want to pull this chair up, because that shouldn't be over there, that should be there with you. And I just feel that it's as though that you're fighting against something, all right? But I want to say that whatever you're doing, you will achieve it. But no, within your heart, within your solar plexus, hey, I can do this, I will do this. So there's something that you want to change. All right. I know you're quite spiritual, all right, because there's a lot of wonderful energy there as well. I want to put a drum in front of you as well. Okay, I want to bang out these drums, okay? And not ordinary drums, it's probably a Native American one we were talking about a little while ago, that I want to say that I want to bang. All right, and so that and allow that spirit energy to come forward with you, because you have it, and join us. Okay, I have a lady just coming very, very close here, and I want to say auntie. Who's Willie? Okay, she don't know you. Mummy Spirit, please. Okay. Well, she's come along with a lady called Winnie. I do feel that your mum was very much a lady, that if somebody was lonely, she said, "Good on that." All right, and that's what she's done. She's done something and brought her around, all right? And she said, her name's Winnie. Yeah, all right? Or Winnie, whatever you want to call her.
Yeah.
You are your mother's daughter, all right? She's saying sorry. I'm sorry. Okay? Only you know why. Okay? I'm sorry. And it is so that I go and find strays and bring them along. But I should be here with you and giving you the love that she's given Winnie, but give the love to you. Right? And that's exactly what she's doing. Accept the love that she's bringing forth to you. Okay? It may be, it's never too late. No, it's never too late to say I love you. Okay? And if we weren't in this world at the moment, we can't hug people as we used to, I'd be there in a great big hug. Okay? But at the same time, I just feel that just please, I gave wings there, and I want to say that's what she's wrapping around you, the love that she's giving you also. I'm not going to open it up, it's personal to you. I want to say that, yes, she knows that she's done wrong. I know she's come off the pathway. And at the same time, that she's been over there a while now, and she's learned a lot. And so spiritually, I do feel that you're very spiritual. And I want to put I want to put cards in your hand, as though either you read cards or play cards, I don't know. But I just feel these are spiritual cards, and I want numerology with you as well. Numerology is a code. Yeah, you're very clever. Use it. If you don't know anything about it, learn about it. But I do so that you have the knowledge. You have the knowledge. I want to put loads of dogs around you. I want to put loads of dogs. I want to put loads of animals around you. Either you've got loads of animals or you just love animals. But I just want to put them around you. And if I had ponies here and an elephant here or a giraffe there or a big bear, it's as though I want to bring them all around it. I do feel these are dogs, all right? But it's as though that the spirit world is saying thank you for loving animals. It's because because they're so badly treated, all right? And that you don't badly treat them, you love them, okay? I want to say that also, please, I just feel very much as I have a gentleman here as well. Dad is still with us, please, okay? I want his father then, all right? So it'll be your grandfather. I don't feel you moving, okay? Because he's saying, you didn't know me, but I know you. All right, and it's as though that he's coming forward. I do feel that he had cancer when he passed away, and I feel that he'll have cancer here with him, something maybe you can ask. I also want to say to you is that it has been very, very warm, but at the same time is that your granddad said, please drink more water. Please drink more water. And I want to say that life is like this with you at the moment. But that's your life, all right, that's you. And I want to say to you is that the love coming from the spirit world, not just from your mother, but for others in the spirit world. I just feel that this gentleman here is that as he's talking away, it's though he's talking about his son. And it's as though that because you didn't know your granddad, it's as though I don't feel that you know the personality of him. And but you're saying that if you talk to your dad, you're talking to him. All right? Somebody been looking at photographs? Have you been reminiscing, please? I just feel as I want to reminisce.
Yeah.
All right, I want to reminisce other things. And maybe there's photographs that, you haven't found yet, and or maybe you don't want. All right? And it's as though that at the same time his mum was saying, a few weeks ago, I found a photograph of myself, my father and my brother and my mum. And what I've done is, I've scribbled my mother's face out. And I didn't know why I'd done that. Because I have found another one, which she hasn't got a scribble over her face. So I don't know whether I scribbled that out, or somebody else's. And the reason I'm telling you that is that this lovely lady is saying, don't screw me up, don't screw me out, forgive me, because I do love you. All right? A little bit of healing around your back, a little bit of healing around your back, and I am aware you're wearing glasses, but I just feel healing around your eyes as well. All right? And headaches, you have headaches? Who has a dizzy spell, please? Okay, because I just feel very much as well, I want to go around the ears, I want to go around the eyes, and I just feel dizzy. All right? Lots of healing being given around your head at this time as well. Okay. My God is saying you're perfect where you are. And always remember that. And leave my behind. Thank you so much. Barry, can I come there with you? I want to say to you, Barry, is that there is a lot here in the spirit world for you, all right? I do feel very much as though that as one door shuts, one is going to open for you. I do feel that over these last 2 months it's been extremely hard for you also. I do want to say your cats are very naughty. All right, your cats are very naughty. But I want to say that they climb the curtains.
Yes.
Okay, because my guide is saying they climb the curtains. But I want to say that also, if you let them get away with it, they'll do it. They're in control and you're not, okay? And they are babies and that's what's catching. I am very much aware of a gentleman here, okay? I do feel bad. Mum also in the spirit world, please, because they're coming together. Whether they loved each other, you know that if they go in the spirit world, they're forgiving each other, okay? But your mother's going, all right. And at the same time, is it still that I need to breathe, that you need to breathe.
Yes.
Okay? I don't mean just breathe because I want you to be alive. I mean, I need to breathe. Okay? So it's as though that Mum is saying is that it's important for you to know this instrument you have can do so much more.
Right.
Your instrument, your body. All right? I want to say that Mum, not very old when she passed away, because I don't feel that I have an old lady here. All right, and I just feel with her as though life is cruel by taking her.
Yes.
All right, and like I said there, if it's your time, listen, it's time to go. I want to say that also is that a very smart lady, would you understand that very colour coordinated and very pretty, very, very pretty. And when she was younger, she was a real beauty, all right? Who lost their hair, please? She talked about losing her hair, or somebody losing their, not apart from herself.
Yes, yeah.
All right, I want to understand, because she talked about losing hair. And also, you have a family, please? You have children?
No.
And so, was that a... Would you understand that,
Yes.
thank you. I didn't know how to put it out there at the time. If I'd said what you said, that would have been embarrassing for you, and I keep having to say to them that.
No, it's fine.
All right, but I want to say to you, you would have made a wonderful dad.
Yes.
All right, you would have made a wonderful dad. And I also want to say to you that you are a dad. You may not give birth to those beautiful little pussycats, but at the same time is that you are a dad and you give them enough rope to hang themselves. I want to say that also is that I keep looking at those curtains for some reason that I just want to say I want you to close, not your curtains, but close something, a situation around you.
Yeah.
There's something that you need to shut down, all right? And it's as though that you need to work on yourself,
Yes.
All right, spirit is there. Spirit is very, very much there, and it's as though that they want to bring you forward, I know that you're quite knowledgeable, I know that you like crystals, I know you like colours, and I know you're a healer. Please go back to your healing, all right? Even if it's accent healing, or you may be looking at the back of Reverend's neck and say, hey, it's in the healing. That's so that at the same time is that it's important for you, and you put to me. It's important what you do in life. It's important to you. It doesn't matter about anybody else. It's important to you. I want to say that your pathway is, it's got so many hurdles on it. I'm surprised that you're not worn out by the amount of hurdles that you keep jumping. All right. And when there's a door there, you open it and you're gone. You run away from things. Stop it. All right. So that spirit saying stop it. And it's as though that, these are very symbolic. But at the same time, is that you are worthy of many things. All right. New vehicle, you change your vehicle or wanting to change something.
Keep thinking.
All right, because I'm very much seeing a new vehicle around you. All right. And your home is your haven. That's your safety. And when you shut that door, you're safe. Okay. And I want to say that to you is that spirit is so close to you, and they're keeping you safe. All right. Take my love, and there's lots of beautiful, beautiful energy around you. I want to give it Archangel Gabriel. All right. And so he's very much standing there, and he's looking up. He's standing strong behind you. I want to say that also is the month of March, so somebody's birthday, anniversary, and that you're saying, I will not take no for an answer. Okay? So whatever that's all about, that's not to you, and I leave that to let you see anything. Okay. Where do I come down here? Sorry.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know if you, I have seen you on, because I did go in, I don't do computers, I only got a little tablet, and I did see you working, and many others. I want to say that lots of change is coming in around you, okay? I want to say to you, your mediumship will change, all right, it will change. I want to say that saying this is as though that you are, I want to say to you that you can be your own worst enemy, like most mediums, all right? And I want to say to you is that my guide is saying is that you get it, but you don't always get it.
Thank you.
All right? You get it, give it. If it's wrong, okay, it's wrong. But I want to say to you is that, I know you're in a circle, and I want to say to you is that you get so much, but you don't give it. Please do. Please do. I also want to say that I know that you have their problems and things that I have met you once before, but I don't know you. But I want to say to you, lots of healing around your legs as well. You have a knee problem, please?
That's the second time it's come up. Not actually a knee problem.
Okay. Thank you. Stop.
Down here.
I want to your knee. It's been given once before, and I've been making the third time. Okay. To pick on the same thing as another medium would have done, so just be aware of it. I want to say that there's a lot of healing being given around your knee, and also I want to go to the lower back here as well for you. Not in spirit, please, I'm very much seeing one here, and I feel lung problems, please, because I feel I'm out of breath with her. Very subtle lady, very subtle lady. Edie or Edith or Enid?
Eve was her middle name.
Okay, wonderful. And being here with her, I just feel I want to bring the star down.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, I want to bring the star down. And I want to say that you're a star child. Okay, so the hey, no, look at the stars and no, that's your plan, all right? And it's a goal, I just want to bring that down. I also want to say that books, there's lots of books around you. And it's a goal that you have one book or two books, maybe three books on the go. Really enjoy one. All right. Mum is talking about a ring, have some jewellery or
Yes.
a ring of hers.
Yes.
Because she's talking about that also. Oh, a little pinky, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Been caught out.
That's interesting. That's interesting. But I want to say to you is that this is my mother's wedding, and that's all her thing. My mother's fingers was also tiny, and I just feel that your mum has very, very tiny fingers. And I do feel with her is that I want to play the piano as well. I'm not saying mum's playing the piano, but it's as though she must have loved piano music.
Yeah.
All right. And I have a violin here as well, as though I want to listen to the violin. Scotland, can you take Scotland, please?
I can,
I want Scotland. Let's sing in Scotland, please. And Mum saying, oh, go back to that violin, I want to listen to that violin. And then she's talking about Dad is also there in the spirit world. Okay, because Dad is coming forward. Now, he's put a kilt on, all right? And he's got what he needs.
Yes, he
Not
has.
for his side. And it's a size and I have a lovely electric sound. Look, he's got it. I want to say that your dad has a wonderful sense of humour, absolutely wonderful. And he just put his arm around your mum, just pulled her in close. And a bit like a Darby and Joan.
Yes.
All right, so dad's there, mum's not far behind, and vice versa. I want to go to London as well, so I just feel London connections there. And North London, please. Okay, what North London? Don't know much about North London, but very, very much North London here. And I want to go to Barbican.
Okay.
So I give that to you, and I'm very much aware of Barbican there. I do know the Barbican very well, but just very much seeing Barbican there. And I'm also seeing Bart's Hospital.
Okay.
Bart's Hospital. As though somebody went into Bart's Hospital that went into the cancer ward.
Okay.
All right, so if you're not aware of it, I hope you can find it. I did know. But Mum's talked about this, all right, and there's as though that Patricia, who's Patricia, please? Patricia, Mum's talked about Patricia. And who is the crochet? To the crochet? You, okay. So I know what thing you said somewhere, okay? And also, I want to go to Welsh Wags as well. I want to go to, but I want to go and I want to go and study. I want to go to workshop. I want to be there, and so that I want to enjoy a week or month or whatever. Together.
That'd be nice.
And it's as though that, and also, you're wearing Lowe, and I just feel Lowe is very much an interesting colour for you. All right, so that is very much opens you up. And I want to give you amethyst as well, but I want to put that on your third eye. I want to energise your third eye. You don't do it enough.
No.
Okay, you don't open that eye enough. And I want to say to you is that spirit is there, but at the same time is that, okay, what are you saying there? Spirit is there. I want to energise your third eye. That my guide is saying you get lazy about it. All right? And please forgive me if I don't need to use. And at the same time is your guide is wonderful. All right, and he works very hard. All right, so if he says do it, you do it. All right, but at the same time, don't forget it's them and us. You work. I'm an instrument. You work when I want to work. All right, sleep. You don't sleep properly. All right, and it's so that your sleep pattern is really, really up and down. I'm not surprised with the weather at the moment, but it was before the weather. All right, I want to say that also is that I'm not seeing you chancing. But I do feel that you're quite capable, but I don't want to go down that road with you because this is not a proof of survival, that's your spiritual work. But at the same time is that I'm very much aware of that, and my throat is getting dry, but I want to talk. All right, you have the ability and you're good teachers. If you do, you have a good teacher around you. All right, and I want to say that somebody lost a limb. Yes. All right, I just feel very much a limb. Who's teacher, please? I lost one. Still with us, please. okay, because I just feel very good. He has problems with his eyes,
Yes.
okay, because I just felt there were problems around eyes here. A little bit of healing around him at this moment. I do feel medication there as well. Very stubborn,
Yes.
all right, and it's as though that at the same time, he doesn't do anything with this work. Does he feel it's a little bit, oh yeah, yeah? And at the same time, he will get his proof. He will get his proof.
Soon.
He will get his proof, and I leave it with him.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, no, it's so soon.
I know.
Okay, lovely. If I may with you, I want to say to you is that you're sitting very patient, all right, and you have a baby, please. Are you aware of somebody around you who's got a baby or is having a baby? Yeah, and also is that I do feel that spirit is very much there with you, all right, and I know that you talk to spirit. I know you talk to spirit. And I want to say to you also is that I want to go back to stomach. You're not hypercopy, are you? But you would understand the problem around a baby. Who lost a baby, please?
I don't.
Okay, because I want a baby today, and it's always taken away. And sorry about that. But I want to say to you, lots of healing being given around there. I want to go to hips as well. I want to go to hips. And also is that furniture, you've been moving furniture around.
I was going to. I was going to.
You're going to, oh, they're with you, okay, so wherever you feel you want to put it, and moving furniture. I do want to say there's a new electrical appliance coming in as well.
Yeah.
50.
Well, that counts.
And no, it's me.
Yeah.
But I want to say that I'm very, very much aware of parents are with us. Okay. Who are you? Who are you? I've got a lady here, and she said, who are you?
Yeah.
Right? And I do feel she's a grandmother. All
Oh,
right? And I feel with her it's as though that, you have an arm she's doing, okay? Because as much as I said, I have grandmother, I have two ladies, and she's saying, who are you? This lady, auntie, saying, who are you? Right? And as she would, if she walked in somewhere and a party or, and she'll, don't know, who are you?
Yeah.
Right? And then this is the way she, not to be rude, it's just the way she is. And because she didn't know me, she said, who are you? Right? And her grandmother just turned around and said, well, you're not with them anymore, you're dead, girl. And at the same time, she loved you. And you are very much like her.
okay.
All right, you're very much like her. All right. Dentists around you. All right, you can go on.
No, I don't.
But I want to say a beautiful lady. Again, not very old. Not very old at all. How sad, that is very sad. And the transition was very quick into the spirit world. Also, would you understand somebody that took their own life days? You're not aware?
Possibly. There's confusion again.
Okay, as long as I don't give it to the way it is, I'm not going to open it up. But I want to say that there's just so much to supply in mind. All right. And also, if there's somebody is drinking too much, please. Yeah. All right, you'd understand that as well. And I want to say to you is that I want to stand you in the middle of the field. All right. And as you're in the middle of the field, whatever's going on in your life and in your head, I want you to shut it down. All right. And the little mice and rabbits and the hare and whatever is there, I go, oh, you heard of that. Okay, but I want you to yell, because that's exactly how you want you to yell. All right? And so find that voice, find that fear, and do it, okay? Until you do that, so that you never get sorted in your heart. All right? I do want to say also is that a glass door, is there a glass door? Would you understand a problem around a door or a glass door? It could be a glass window, but I just felt it was quite big. If it's not with you, I'm just trying to get more. And it's as though that if it's not you, would you understand somebody went through a glass door?
Oh, yeah, I was thinking of running.
All right, so it's a memory link. Okay, then lovely. Okay, and I also, you work, yes?
Sorry?
You work? No, no. And it's as though that I just feel very much that I'm very busy.
Oh, yeah.
So you have children, and they keep you busy. And I want to say that Jack, and I want Louise or Louis.
I can take Louise.
Okay. On the earth, please.
Oh, no.
Is she a spirit? Okay, it could be me, I can be wrong. And I also want to say to you is that happy birthday. All right, it's not your birthday, but I want to say there's happy birthday coming in. And I want to say happy birthday, so let's say happy birthday.
It's her birthday.
All right then. Anyway, I do want to say to you also is that get the pens and paper and do it. Okay, you are quite capable of drawing and that's spiritual.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you so much for. Sorry, I was on this side. I should have been on both sides. But
Yes.
sorry, if that's the way they call me, and that's the way I am. So please take my note and thank you so much for that.
Well, now, friends, you might have noticed that there's been a few technical glitches over the last hour and a half, but every day is a learning day. The learning curve is wide, and I've already got a few ideas. In actual fact, as I sit here looking in that direction that Spirit weren't looking, excuse me, it's my job to fill your water, darling. So I was being very, very good earlier. I picked up the glass for Barbara to move it to the front of the table using the corner of the tablecloth, because I hadn't got my blue gloves from work with me. That only goes so far. Yeah. Only goes so far. But no, as I sit here looking in this direction, I actually already have a solution for everyone watching at home and everyone in the hall, in fact, who is a little bit Mutt and Jeff, and I think about 18 months of earphones has made me a little bit Mutt and Jeff. We've got someone in the room who actually donated some radio mics and a speaker for us. Right there, you see. And I've just been looking at how many holes I've got left to fill on my laptop. Behave. See, it doesn't change. And I've got enough space. So I will be changing the batteries because after 18 months, the batteries that were taken out and put in the side, they were a little bit dry when I got here this afternoon. So we will be working each week to progress the service. So do bear in mind that every day is a learning day and every day is a growing day, and everything will be upskilling. All that said, ladies and gentlemen, I give you a wonderful demonstrator, a beautiful exponent for Spirit, and a really, really good friend, Reverend Barbara Price! Well, believe it or not, we're still on track. Time-wise, anyway. My going to bed will be much later because I usually just switch the laptop off and roll over. I'm going to have some washing up to do and some stuff to put away soon, but we're not quite there yet. So, friends, there's been one tradition that has not been seen yet this week. And you know what? It's been part of the service for 18 months now, rather than after the service. So rather than waiting until after the service, I've decided to keep it as part of it. It's time to get your raffle tickets ready and see who's won some prizes. And I know someone's on standby. We've got a couple of prizes to get through yet, but we've got the royal box over in the corner of the hall there, and Bully and Hannah and Sam are indeed with us in the hall. So it's raffle ticket time, and get ahead of ourselves. And just would you talk to everybody for a moment, Barbara, because I have to go and get the bucket.
Hello, everyone.
Another thing I have to do in a long time. I'll lose a few pounds now.
In your dreams.
Coming back. So, it's so funny that the things you forget, like how far it is to run to get back. Would you like to pick us our first? There. And number one, first the prize on the white, grey, something like that. 186, 186. There you go. Do feel free to grab yourself a prize. You will be pulling another one indeed. And the next one is, I need to start shaking up, 180. Barbara, turn again. Thank you, darling. And 5 and 7, 57. Well, you've got to have something for coming all the way. In actual fact, it really is your bus fare home. It's a very bullseye night tonight. And I even had my 180. 191. 191. Reverend Lee, would you like to pick a winner?
I don't know what the people at home think of this.
We've had 18 months of me talking about Boudoir Del Brown and Chateau Del Nick. Here's a raffle table. It's all part of the social side, darlings. 137. 137. And it might encourage a few people. If you come, here you go. And of course, I must say, friends, if you come and see us, you too could win a raffle prize. I know. I'm keeping an eye on it. Close to the last one, doesn't it? 106. 106. Oh, lovely. Pick another one. Third's a charm. Thank you. Oh, that's all right. I'll get it. I don't mind. How many we got left? Because I have to be careful not to give away the hand sanitizer. Yes, not out. So that is a raffle prize, that is a raffle prize, that is a raffle prize, and that's a raffle prize. That's just a sign that says you need to use hand sanitizer. No! Put that right. This is a raffle prize, this is a raffle prize, this is one, and this is one. Oh! Well now. That's a bully special prize all of its own, because that is some encaustic art made by Hannah herself. And the next winner is 163. Hey! Pick me a winner, dear.
99, or in that case.
No, it's 66. Just so everyone in the hall can see that it's... See, there we go. It has its uses. Everyone in the hall can now see the numbers. 66. Right. Thank you.
That wasn't nice, was it?
Well, friends, it's that time of the evening where I ask a very important question. Hannah, what time is it? We're going to need to get Bully a microphone. Everyone at home will be seasick. Bully special prize! Is indeed these lovely magical mushrooms. They are eternal. 131! Hey! Go get your prize, love. Well, friends, I hope that's got everyone's spirits up. I do apologise for the camera wobbling if it's made anybody queasy. Sorry, Shirley. And as we conclude this week's Raffle. Oh! Well done. See, when you come back next week, you'll be camera director, yeah, so you can keep me in check. Friends, the time is now upon us to close this service. But I couldn't do that without saying a huge thank you to each and every one of you standing and sitting right here, because there is one of you standing. And everyone, of course, at home. You are a family united together. United in spirit, united in love, and united in never knowing what to expect from a service from Littleport Village Hall. We're back. We'll learn every week and tweak here and tweak there as needed. But one thing will never change. The love that we share, the joy that we feel being together, and the truth that life is indeed eternal. So a big thank you to our medium for tonight, Reverend Barbara Price. To our reader, Reverend Alan. To Mum, who's down on the, still doing the raffle and taking at the door. Thank you to Reverend Lynn for your very kind words. Thank you to all of you for coming out tonight. And a very special thank you to Lauren, who went over to her house over the road and stole her daughter's HDMI cable so that we could use the projector because it didn't come with one. It's a good job that we don't have our own space program, because the ships that we build would be held together with tiny bits of wire and string and a lot of good intention. But there you go. Friends, let us join together and close this service in prayer. And you too at home. As we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother God, We thank you for the opportunity that we have shared tonight to come together under your banner of love and hope and friendship, to witness your truth that the world does indeed continue, that we continue, and that the soul is indestructible. As we go out into this world, let us take with us this message of upliftment. Let us take with us this message of love. And let us take with us a new and resolved purpose to make this world a better place. And as we go, I ask that you give your blessing to each person here present and each person watching at home and each person who will watch these words. For we know that the world of spirit is not limited by our own perceptions or ideas. And until we meet again, we make that statement as ever, that we do not ask you to move the mountain, just give us the strength to climb. Until we meet again in your name, in love, in truth, and in light. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Friends, thank you. It's been a journey, it's been a road. Sometimes it has bumps, sometimes it's uphill, sometimes it's downhill. Sometimes it's backwind, sometimes it's headwind. But all roads lead to the same place. And it's so much nicer to go along a road with someone to share that journey with. So until next time, thank you all. May the peace of the Great Spirit go with you all. God bless you. And in a few moments' time, we can turn around, go in, and have a cup of tea. God bless you all, and good night. And good night to you too. It's time for a video.
Thank you.